Today we are going to learn how to crochet ease. First, take out the white thread. We get 25 braid pins. Start by tying a slip knot with the end of the thread. Put your pinky in a loop. Pinch the thread between your thumb and forefinger. We crochet to the back of the thread, straight out of the wire. So our threads form a V. Let's keep doing this for 25 fs. Alright, when we get our 25 braids up and running, the first V we are close to crochet does not hook. Let's jump to the second to last V. Crochet his left side into the stitch. Then the crochet is wound and brought out. Now there are 2 coils on the crochet hook. Let's wind the crochet again. Take out both coils at once. This is for a short needle. We put a marking buckle on the position of the first pin. The mark buckle is needed the left side of this V with the right side to clasp on it. Let's continue with a short stitch in the next needle, which is the left side of the next V. Put a crochet hook on it, and then winding. Crochet now on 2 coils. Take out the 2 coils by winding them again. Next, the crochet is wound once in advance. Then insert the needle into the next needle. Wind the wire again. So you can see that there are 3 coils on the crochet winding thread to bring out these 10 coils at once. This is a medium to long needle. Let's do this one more time. The thread is wound first and the next thread is inserted. Crochet on 10 coils. Then wrap the wire and take out at one time. Next, we hook the long needle. Long needles are still wound first. Insert the needle into the next needle. There are still 3 coils on the crochet hook, but we need to wind the wire. Take out the first 2 coils in turn. Insert the needle at the next point. Out of the winding. Crochet out 2 coils at once. And the last 2 coils. Continue to hook the long needle. 14 of these long needles. Now let's count if it's 14 long needles. Our first is a short needle, 2 short needles, 2 medium and long needles. So this is where the long needle is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now I've hooked 11 long needles. I need to tick again in the next 3 stitches. Alright. We've got 14 long needles and then we first crochet. Winding. Insert the needle into the next needle. Crochet out these 3 coils at once. This is a medium and long needle. We continue to tick in the next needle. This is a medium to long needle. Hook 3 times in a row. Put 3 medium long stitches after completion. To hook a short needle. Hook a short needle again. Alright, now there is only 1 V left in the braid. We put 3 short pins in the last V. This is the hook in the needle. After 3 short needles in one needle, we rotate the weave. Then, now let's take the top half. The needle is also inserted in the last needle. Hook a short needle. Next needle order. Continue into the needle. We can put this thread on top of the crochet hook. This will tuck it in when you hook it. 2 short stitches finished, and then winding. Hook semi-medium long needles. Medium and long needles are taken out of 3 coils at a time. The last one is a medium long needle. When we're done, we flip the weave. The thread can be cut after the thread is pulled tight. Next is the repeated hook length. Needle hook 14 long needles. Long needles are needed first. Take out the first 2 coils and the last 2 coils. This is a long needle. We'll hook the 14 long needles when they're done. 2 medium and long needles. Medium and long needles are taken out of 3 coils at a time. Hook another medium to long needle. Now there are only 2 needles left. Let's hook the short needles in turn. Now let's draw. The pull-out is where the marker buckle is removed. That's where the first way that we just ticked off remove the marking buckle, and then it goes into this needle order. Lead pull. We take out the wire. And then you take this wire, fold it in half and estimate it. Then cut it off. Then place the wire under the crochet hook. Then wrap the string around it. Let's lock a crochet stitch and drop it straight out. And then we'll do the second circle. The second lap is first. It was pulled just now. This is where the mark buckle goes in. Hook a short needle, and then you put a marker on it. We are a novice. Both are needed in the first. The position of the short needle is marked. The next needle order continues with the short needle. Short pins. See, our wire is completely tucked into this wire. Then the crochet wound the thread. Enter the next needle. And take it out all at once. And so it was in the next needle. Take out 3 coils at a time. Next, the crochet wound in the next needle. Take the first 2 coils first and the last 2 coils. And then the next needle. Hook 2 of these long needles. It means to take the same needle again. We hooked 2 stitches into the same needle. It's obvious, and the width is not the same. This one is obviously fatter than the next needle in the eye. Hooks long needle. Hook 4 long needles. 4 long needles are finished before you hook needle them. Long needle plus needle which is in this needle line. Hook 2 such long needles in the same needle. The needle. And when we're done with the strong needle and the needle, we're going to hook 5 more long needle. After the 5 long needles are finished, we hook the middle and long thread into the next thread. Take out the 3 coils at one time. Hook 3 of these medium and long pins. Next, we are going to hook 4 short pins. A. After 4 short needles are finished, adjust this wire. Fold it in half as much as possible. And then if it's not the same length, take another fold puff. It in half again. And when we're done, we put the needle in the next needle line above the line of symmetry. That's basically where it is. After a short needle, we start with 2 braids. 1, 2. And then we start. The left side of the most lateral V enters the needle. And then I'm going to pick up this short needle on the left half of the opposite, then provoke the left half of both V's. Then hook on now 10 coils. We want the wire to bring out the first 2 coils, and then want the wire bring out 2 more coils. This is a RCH dogtooth needle. And then when you're done, we put the needle in the next needle line. Continue to hook 4 short stitches. We just hooked the petals. On the left we now rotate the weave, and then hook him to the right. Three short needles. The 4th short needle. Okay, so when we're done, let's wind the wire. Hook 3 medium long needles. Medium and long needles take out 10 coils at a time. Next is the hook needle. 5 long needle. 5 long needles to finish. The next needle item is long needle plus needle. That is, you hook 2 of these lengths into this needle line. The needle. The following. 4 long needle. 4 long needle. And then the needle. And then you check it again. Hook a long needle into the next needle, and then we can wrap the wire. Take 2 medium and long needles. Take out 10 coils at a time. Winding. Take out 10 coils at a time. 2 medium long stitches finished. Then repeat with 4 short stitches. When we're done, we take off the marker buckle. Draw at the position of this marker buckle. Pull out is the front of this line snare. This coil in the back. Lead to pull out, and then this line can be. Make it a little bit looser. Then you wrap this wire around. And then tighten it up. Then disconnect again. Let's do it this way. You need to crochet 6 of these petals. This is the first piece. After the little petals are finished, we take out the green thread. Now learn how to crochet leaves. It's still a braid and needle. You tie a slip knot with the end of the thread. Then make a loop with the little finger. And then use index finger and thumb. Pinch the end of the thread to hook the braid pin. Crochet directly out of the thread. It forms a V on the side. And then winding it out, you get 2 V's. We check 28 of these V's in this way. 28 braid pins are finished. We are still closest to the crochet. The first V is not hooked. We go to the second penultimate V position. Lift 等于 it's left into the needle. Hook short needle. The next needle goes in. Hook a short needle again. The next needle is a short hook. Then the crochet wound the thread. Hook a long needle. That's crochet. Take the 3 coils out of the crochet hook at once. Hook another medium to long needle. Insert the needle into the next needle. Then the crochet wound the thread. The next needle goes in. Let's hook the long needle. The long needle is first taken out of the first 2 coils and the last 2 coils. You need to do it this way. Hook 15 of these long needles. Then we crochet and wound the thread. In the next 10 stitches, hook the middle and long stitches. And then you check it again. Short needle. After the short needle is finished, we thread the braid. There is only 1 needle left on the top. We are in the order of needles. It's still 3 short pins. In the same order. Okay, and then rotate the weave. To hook the top part of him, find the last needle. The needle. Then place the end of the thread above the crochet hook. Hook and hide the wire. Short hook needle first. First hook 3 of these short pins. Then the needle is crocheted and wound. Next hook the long needle. Hook is also hook semi-medium long needle. Then flip the weave. Pull the end of the thread a little tighter and cut it off. Then we continue to hook 15 long needles again. Insert the needle into the next needle. Take the first 2 coils first and the last 2 coils. Good 15 long stitches to finish. Let's hook 2 more medium and long needles. And then finally there are 3 needles left. Let's hook the short needles in turn. Then we take off the marker buckle. Pull at the position of the marker buckle. The next step is to add the wire. Our wire is also woven according to our own pieces. It's a little bit easier to compare. The wire goes under the crochet hook. And then wrap it around with this string. Let's start by winding a stitch. Then make a second turn. The second lap is also in the lead position. Hook a short needle. Hook a short needle at the next point. We hook 6 short needles. 6 short stitches completed. Then hook the long needle. The long needle is crochet first. The winding brings out 3 coils at one time. The 18 medium long stitches are finished before you hook short needles. And now we have this nematode on the symmetry line. We hook 3 short needles. Rotate the weave, and then take the other side. It's still 4 short needles, and then 18 medium long needles, and then the 6 short needles. 6 short needles, and then we ring. The first one closest to us. Insert the needle at position V. That's where we first put the marker. Pull out is when the front loop pulls out the back loop, and then stretch the line. The method of our blades is also hooked complete. 6 petals and 2 leaves finished. We continue to hook the buds with the green thread. The buds need to use a circular needle. Let's start by sticking out our little finger and winding it through the backs of our hands. Index finger. Circle the index finger once more. Press the 2 threads with your thumb. Crochet into the gap between this finger and the coil. Crochet the first thread on the left. Bring out the back thread. Then we're going to hook a lock pin. Let's hook a lock pin again. And then we have. Take off the ring. Use your middle finger and thumb. Press these 2 threads on the left. Then crochet first winding. And then you go into this loop and you wind it. Crochet on the 3 coils. Let's take out the first 2 coils in turn. And the last 2 coils. Repeat winding first. Let's go to this ring. Out of the. Take the first 2 first. Bring the last 2. So we form 2 V's on the side. We use marker buttons. Let's put the first V on it. We need to tick in this ring 5 of these long needles. You're going to have 5 V's on the side. Then we find the short thread first, and then pull it tight. We're going to take off the marker buckle. Insert the pin in the position of the marker buckle. Lead to pull out. The lead is also the front coil. Pull out the back coil. And when we're done, we're gonna hook a stitch and then do a second loop. The second circle is where you need to add a needle. Let's just lock in one more shot. Crochet. Wound the thread into the needle hole just drawn. Out of the winding. Take out the first 2 coils first. Take out the last 2 coils. Winding again. Go ahead and hook another long needle in the needle line. Next needle order, we'll just hook a long needle. The next needle continues with 2 long needles. Next needle order, a long needle. The last order of needles. 2 long needle. So we are formed 8 needle eye. In the position of the first V. Lead to pull out. Then we cut off the short thread. Let's get another lock. Needle lock again. A crochet hook is wound first. We have just. I'm going to put the needle in the eye below this is the one it's time. A straight pick here. Pick up the one we just ticked off. Location. The one that picked up the hook. The vertical bar length the needle. To hook the long needle. And then the next one is wound and then it goes back into the normal needle. And then insert the needle into the same needle. And I wound it and I went on. Lift this bar. Then out of the next needle order, return to the normal needle order. Hook 2 long needles into the needle. Crochet winding. Again, the hook and the stick. On line. Hook a long needle. Then return to the normal needle. Hook 2 long needles. We've got 1, 2, 3 now. So let's do the last one again. When we're done, we'll pull it. That's the first edge that we just hooked on the top of the draw. So we can lock 2 more stitches. Let's hook round 4. A crochet hook is one first. Again, I'm going to put the needle in this vertical line. Hook needle. Then go back to the normal needle. Hook a long needle. Then hang up. A long needle plus a needle is in the same order. Hook 2 long needles. The crochet wand goes into this vertical line again. Hook needle. And then winding. Let's go back to the normal needle and insert the needle. Hook a long needle first, then the next needle in the hook long needle. It's just 1 more needle. Alright, repeat it. Hook a long needle on a vertical line. And then we continue on this first long vertical line. Find the location of this V into the needle and pull out. The following. First 2 needle lock. And then winding. Keep repeating on this vertical line. Hook a long needle. Then we hook 2 long needles first. Then, hook a long needle and add it. And then I wind it on this edge again. Hook a long needle and the long needle is finished. Return to the normal needle in the needle. First hook a long needle. Hook another long needle into the next needle line. Then hook a long needle and add the needle to the next needle. And then in this prominent, put the needle on the vertical line. And now between our 2 vertical lines, I have 4 long needles. Then lead pull. Lock the 2 needle. And then the 6th loop. I'm going to wind it and then I'm going to put it on this wrist. Put the needle on the vertical line. Hook the long needle and return to the normal needle. Hook 3 long needles first. The next needle continues to hook the long needle. 3 long needles to finish. And then this last needle. Hook the long needle and add the needle. That's 2 ticks. In the same order here. And then on this wrist vertical line. Hook it like this between our two vertical lines. It's 5 long needles apart. And again we repeat. First check. 3 long needle. Then hook a long needle and add it. Lead pull. Then came our 7th lap. Lap 2 no more, no less. You can hook a long needle around. Lead pull. Next we're going to start cutting the needle. Start with 2 braid pins. Hook a long needle on this vertical line. Then check first in the normal 3 needle orders. Hook the long needles in turn. Now we have 2 stitches left and we crochet them first. And then pick it first. The front half of the coil. And then you pick half of the back V. And then winding. Take out the first 2 coils then first. Wind the wire to bring out the last 2. And then wound the wire. Put a hook on this vertical line. And then 3 long needles. Now it's time to drop the needle. Take half of this V. And then you pick half of the back V. The last needle is drawn. Then, 2 more braids continue to hook. This earring is 2 long needles, a needle, and then turn 时. It's long needle, a needle, 11 laps. We hook the needle directly. The 11th lap is over. Remove the crochet, then fill the hole with padded cotton. There is no standard for how much, as long as you see fit. Let's do the next circle. Again, I'm going to hook a long needle on this vertical line. And then this circle. Direct hook drop needle. Then, long needle repeatedly. The last one is to reduce the needle. And then we'll draw it. Finally, let's stop. Crochet needles don't have to be wound. Drop needle. And then come out to this side. And you're done with 4 cuts. 1 more needle was pulled out. 4 short needles finished, and the opening is not convenient for us to disconnect first. Next comes our final assembly. Let's start with a piece of wire to make a flower bud. Fold the wire roughly in half. We're below the fold. Apply a little glue first. Press this brown thread on and secure it. And then let's wind the wire. And then a little bit of glue on the end. Then cut the brown thread. It can be folded in half and then twist the wire. This is the part of the flower. And then we take the green line. Apply a little glue to the end of the brown thread. Connect it with green thread and keep winding. We don't have to go very far. About 4 or 5 centimeters should be fine. Let's do another 5 or 6 of these. When we finished, we took out the thicker one. And then what we need to do is to I made this flower stamen. Let's attach it to this flower. And then we take these 6 petals that we made. You have to put it that way. Fix it to this flower stem. There can be an overlap between the 2 petals. And then we overlap. Just put glue on it. It's all petal on petal. Apply glue to the back. So let's do this combination. Well, the combination of 6 petals is such an Next effect. We set the assembled flower this side to assemble the pot. We take this thin wire. We learn from. Don't go through this bottom because if this base goes through there's no support. A little bit up. This will hold it in place a little bit. Then apply glue. No quick winding before drying. Then disconnect again. Now we take the assembled lily. In this, glue the bottom of the lily. This part of the receptacle, well, you can make it a little bit thicker. And then it gets thinner and thinner as you go down. Don't forget that while we're winding the flowers, depending on how high you wrap it. And then we're going to add this bud. You can wrap it around. The leaves and buds are gradually wrapped around it. Now add a leaf. Our lily is already assembled.